Alright, ready to start the walls, the sidewalls. And I've had a lot of friends and family comment and say, how in the world are you going to cut that radius and have it come out just right? Well, that's done with a paper template. So there's a roll of paper. You can get that builder's paper at like Menards or Home Depot or Lowe's or any of the big box places. Contractors use a lot of times to cover a floor when they're working. That's about a fourth of a roll or a little over left from another camper I did. And I'm going to make a template out of that. So stay with me, show you how. Okay, so I started off cutting the paper to exactly the size of the sheet of paneling. And that helps with placement later on. Take the time to tape both sides of your overlap. You won't regret that. Now, I took some rough measurements, and they were very rough measurements, just to get an idea. Folding those corners down will just make it a lot easier to get it in place inside. Now, what I'm going to do from the bottom edge is roll this up into a long roll to take inside, and then I'll staple it just a few places to the furring strips till I get it all in place and cut to shape. I'll be right back. Okay, now there you can see how folding those ends or corners kind of helped get it in place a little easier without fighting it as much. So now I'll start chopping off some of the excess to get it out of the road, and then we'll fine tune it. Alright, so we're getting closer. Now, right in the corner where the wall and ceiling meet, I'll run my fingernail along there and make a crease. And then I'm going to cut that with a good sharp utility knife right in the corner. But if you crease it good, you can take the template down and cut it with scissors. I just feel a little more confident and can see exactly, if I goof up, I can see it and put a little piece of tape. If I come down away from the ceiling at an 1/8 inch or something, and show where that goes. So anyway, I'll go ahead and cut that with a utility knife, and I'll be back. Now, if I cut my plywood exactly to that shape and size, it should fit right in there and be perfect. That's the challenge. I'll be back and show you how I did. Alright, there it is. Now, what I referred to before as the reason I made a excuse me. The reason I made a template the size of the plywood, it gave me a 90-degree reference point corner here. So that was a starting point for everything. So I'm going to mark this and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to cut it with the template still in place. Now I'll show you here in a few minutes. Okay, so I've marked it with a Sharpie marker, and you say why mark it with a template in place, but I want to see where that black line is, and I'll sand it so the line disappears if there's a spot where it shows, because that's 1/8 of an inch that can't be there. Okay, be back. Oh, one other thing, I'm using just a jigsaw, saber saw, some people call it. I'm using a metal cutting blade, and the reason, it's got extremely fine teeth, so it'll cut this nice. Okay, I'll be back. Alright, so I pretty much cut right on the line. And I'm going to use a belt sander and just fine tune any little places where there's any lines showing at all. Okay, now the window, and we put it in. Alright, let's do this. Oh, I just love it when a plan comes together. A little bit of paneling glues and through there. I'll get that. And it's all glued and nailed up. A little tiny bead of caulking in that corner before I paint, and we'll be good. Alright, so all the rest of the templates are done the same way, so you get the idea. Hey, thanks for watching the videos. Hopefully something I stumbled on will help you out. If you like the videos, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next video.